I'm just wondering if you can see me or you can't, so let's have a look. Okay, so it looks like it is working. We're going to start quite soon. Perfect. Just give me a little bit more time to make sure people will get into it. Hi guys, it's good to see you. I'm trying to see if I can see you in the same time on my laptop. I hope so. Okay, perfect. So we can start in about 2 minutes, I hope. Możesz tutaj podejść i objechać to moje biurko, tak troszeczkę teraz w międzyczasie. No, it's not going to work. That was just a good try to see if it works, but it doesn't. So I have to rely on my husband, who's our help, to tell me if there are any important questions showing. So if you have any, I hope you will be able to help. I'm not sure if we can see any comments, but I'm just very close to be ready. So guys, we are going to talk about my new release, new Impasto paints. I'm just taking them out now. Let's see, how does it work? Okay, so I can see you coming. Perfect. You can have a look at the studio wall now, just at this very moment. So let's see. So now officially, hi guys, it's Finnabair here from my studio in beautiful Aircourt, County Galway in Ireland. So if there will be any issues with the internet, it's because we are in the middle of the Irish village. So I hope you are going to be with us no matter what happens. The show today is going to be about the new Art Alchemy Impasto paints. These are 15 tubes of beautiful acrylic heavy body paint. I'm going to show you a little bit what you can do with them, what we can do with the texture, playing with the paints, what we can do using different tools. I've got brushes, I've got water, so we are almost ready to start. So if you're going to have a closer look here at this table, I'm going to show you what I've done in my journal and what have I done on my projects I made today and a couple of days ago when I was at the Prima office. So this is the journal page that I made using the Impasto paints. This is full of texture. If you have a closer look, I was gluing quite a lot of paper in the background. I was using some old tags, and then on the top of that all, after adding a little bit of gesso, I started playing with colors. And it's probably easy to guess, they were mostly shades of pink. So there was some aubergine color. It's beautiful deep purple. And there was this crimson, which is a deep fuchsia color, which is awesome. I just love these combinations. And then I had to add some black, you know. You just need to have some black in your life, always, right? So, and then finally, these marks which were just done with my silicone brush, I was just dabbing like that. And these ones, made with one of my stencils, they were all added with the green apple color. What is great about them, really, is you can both paint with them, and you can make marks, you can make textures because they're heavy. I will just show you that in a moment on pieces of paper, but before that I will show you another example. This is another page, a little bit more of white this time, and you can see I was playing with the same stencil, with the same idea of the marks, and a little bit different color combination. So here I was playing with the azure and jade. I heard that jade is the most beautiful color ever, so I have to agree, it's beautiful. And then I added a tiny bit of cobalt, which is my personal very favorite. And then, of course, adding some marks of white and poppy red, which is beautiful red tone. So that was an example of what you can do. Let me now show you the paints as they are from the tube. And I will show you a little bit more also on my collage project. So I told you we have 15 colors, and 15 is quite enough to make your own mixes, because all of the acrylic paints, they are very easy to work with. They are reacting with water when they are wet, and they're permanent when they are dry. So let's say I want to play a little bit on the piece of paper, trying to check the colors. Let's see, the poppy red. Yep. And then just by adding other color when it's wet, you can make it really beautiful and interesting. Just mixing wet in wet is going to be changing the tone. I'm not sure if you can see here, but it's changing the tone easily. Let's put something else. Whoops! Yeah, so you can see they're really easy to mix, easy to blend. What I like about this kind of technique, it's a very smooth way of changing the tones. So just adding paint into paint, you can create interesting effects. You can also play with the baby wipes if you're going to have your layer of paint and then you're going to put another one on the top. If the bottom one is dry, you can just start wiping on the top and it's going to create cool effects. So let's say I want to make some marks on the top. Let's see, maybe this apple color is going to be cool idea. I just dabbed some paint. Yeah, this was exactly the technique I was using on my journal pages, just dabbing and playing. And this texture will be wonderful to touch after drying. So simple and so strong. These colors are very highly pigmented. I will show you that in a moment with water, but just a little bit of paint is going really, really long way, and they have beautiful, beautiful color palette. So we've got water acting paints, which are getting permanent after drying, like any other acrylic paint, of course. They have the body and they have strong pigmentation. So let's look at other example. For example, my favorite color, cobalt. Cobalt is, oops, yeah, I was using that a lot. It's shade of blue, but just to show you how far this color will go. If I apply it just with the brush, you can see it's deep, but then look at that. Just adding a tiny bit of water is taking this color to the next level. It's just amazing how far this pigment goes. And that means you can create almost like watercolor effect using wet acrylic paint and a lot of water. You can play with sprays and then the colors will drip a little bit. So you can, yeah. But you have just limited working time, right? So you have to do that when the paint is wet. If you wait too long, it's going to get permanent. And to show you how the paint is going to cover on black, I have my journal page, which was painted in black. And just to show you how rich the color is. You can do it with the palette knife to create textures, as I told you. Right? That is kind of awesome. And then the other way, of course, traditional way, just taking a brush and just painting. This is heavy body paint, which means it seems to be half dry, but how awesome is that? It's just the most beautiful color ever. So if you feel that your paint is a little bit too dry, you would like to have it a little bit more liquid, you can of course do that. Just adding water into it. Look at this pink. Just so vibrant on the black. It covers completely. So this is awesome if you want to work on the dark surface. It has nice body and you can rub it with your finger. Just look at this lovely blend. No problem at all to create midtones. So really fun to play, I think, and I'm really excited. I have already idea for the new class when I'm going to use this kind of technique with rubbing with my fingers. And I would like to show you also how it works with the stencil, because of course it works with the stencil. Let me just grab one or two for you, and let me see if I have something here. Right? Okay, you can see I was also trying my cobalt paint, of course, here, because I was. So let's say you want to use a stencil and use your paint for creating texture. You just need some kind of palette knife or any other similar tool. For example, silicone brush will be really good for that. And then the consistency, you can see it's almost like, similar to paste. It's not as thick as paste, but it's quite thick. That's why it's impasto paint. It's going to create texture. So very easily, very simply, you have good texture, just like using gesso or more liquid version of paste. So you can use that techniques in your journal pages, on your cards, on your scrapbook pages, on your collage, whatever you would like to do, quite nicely. And look how easy it is to cover the dark color with the lighter one. This is not a problem with this paint because it's so highly pigmented. It's absolutely matte after drying. It's absolutely opaque. So you have a lot of fun with that. And what is exciting about this matte finish and about this opaque finish, you can really combine it with the metallic finish too, which means you will have some spaces on your project that are going to be absolutely matte versus places where you will intentionally add some metallic finish. It's going to catch the light. I have a project that I was using to advertise this a live show, and this is exactly what I was trying to tell you. Look at these beautiful tones. This is combination of cobalt, azure and jade, and then in selected places I started to add my metallic paints. So this is Art Alchemy metallic, new colors, and then the background, the whole background was painted basically using my fingers and 3 tones of paint. So this will be the starting color, the cobalt one. Then tones of jade, tones of azure with a tiny touch of white. You can see this white here. All that rubbed with my fingers. Beautiful opaque matte finish. And then combining that with a tiny bit of the metallic, just awesome. You can just create amazing effect in few minutes using combination of the matte and metallic on one project. I told you I have idea for the new class, and this is very true. I wanted to work on something that is going to be exciting with these techniques. I couldn't resist, and I was using cobalt again. And I made this project last night. This is for our event in the United Kingdom. This is the new class that I'm going to teach during Applied Creativity. You can see we are going to rub the paints. We are going to work also with the tones of the wax, Art Alchemy wax, and also with the new metallic paints. We're going to talk about them next week. But this was the background I wanted to get. It was just playing with super matte, super thick, super rich paint to create those amazing tones. And you know, I just can't wait. It was so exciting, and I hope you'll have as good time as I have playing with these. My beautiful creative team is getting the boxes with the products right now, so they're going to show you amazing projects in the few days, and I hope you will love them because they're my new art babies. They are really having huge potential, and it's finally something that is going in good combination with the metallic paints I had so far. So I'm so super excited, and they're going to be in your local stores probably in the next week, 2 weeks, because Prima is shipping them basically this week. They're starting 15th, which is now, and you are going to have a chance to get them in your local stores. So please let them know that you are interested. Please let them know it is coming. Make sure they're going to get it for you. And I hope you're going to go back to my website, finnabair.com, and wait to see our tutorials, our posts, which are coming 2-3 times a week. Every Monday, every Friday, there's always fresh tutorials, so expect some stuff happening in the next weeks. Thank you so much for watching. It was Finnabair from Prima Marketing, from my very Irish studio in the middle of the countryside. So I hope you enjoyed that show. I hope you had a good time. I will try to answer to any comments later in the comment section. So, well, see you next week when we're going to talk a little bit more about the metallic paints. But I hope what you could see now today was exciting enough, and you are going to have a good time playing with new Art Alchemy Impasto paints. Thank you guys, and see you!